Hello everyone, the package reviewer here, and this may come as a shock to some of you guys, but this rant isn't going to be on a DeviantArt account, but rather a YouTube channel. Granted, I have covered some YouTube channels in the past, but this is the first time in years since I have tackled anyone who doesn't have a DeviantArt account. Now, this YouTube channel in particular is known as Kizer, one of those GoAnimate schmucks who has proven that he is not capable of any sort of feedback. Yes, that is common for most people in the GoAnimate community, but JJ over here is a special case. Why is that? Well, let's begin with an overview of his channel. For those who have been living under a rock, or don't have any idea what the hell is a GoAnimate, Kizer is a 22-year-old GoAnimator who, as you would expect, make lackluster rants and commentaries, what is your opinion on this videos, and something that's fairly new to me called OPS coping videos, which from what I've seen, is basically Jay describing unfortunate events of his OCs and acts like a therapist to make them feel better about their negative experiences. He also brings said characters up in some of his rants and commentaries, but I'll get to that later. He even has his own commandments in which anyone who does this is a sinner in his book. I guess I'll be having a visit with Satan once again. On his first few videos, he had a few good like to dislike ratios, but as time went by, it just flipped. Which the cause of why that's the case will be said later on. Alright, I'll stop foreshadowing the video, let's just get on with it. Well, I'm totally going back to my roots on this one. I'm not going to talk about all of his rants, but some of his more interesting ones. Trust me when I say that he does say some pretty questionable stuff. The first one I'll be looking at is one on a user named Starly Ella the Avenger 2K4. I'm not going to cover the whole rant, but rather little snippets of it.
8. She even gives Kevin the Kimberly voice. What the hell? Kimberly is only used on females. Heck, that's OPS Layla's voice.
Why does it matter so much to you if a text-to-speech voice of a girl goes to a guy? Let their characters be femboys. Also, who asked if one of your sleep paralysis demons has that voice?
15. She made a video where Caillou grounds 5 Nick Jr. characters and got ungrounded for it, proving that she treats Nick Jr. like it's worse than Nazi Hitler.
Nazi Hitler? But Hitler is already a Nazi, making that name redundant. Unless the Hitler we've been taught about was just a regular Hitler and not Nazi Hitler. I should really repeat history class.
19. She has the same name as one of my OPS members, even though she was born first.
Yeah, despite her being on this planet before your precious OPS, she has apparently committed identity theft. With these points brought up from one rant alone, this may give you a glimpse of what he would usually say when he rants on users. But the next one I'm tackling is a rant on a user who has made a review on Jay, that being Dom's Classical Corner.
10. He claims to hate the Loud House, yet he did a commentary on my Loud House rant which proves he's a hypocrite.
You know, Dom does have a point about your reasons why the Loud House sucks, but that's besides the point. It's not really hypocritical if Dom's reasons to hate the Loud House differ widely from yours. You're just trying to make him look like the bad guy just because of that content review.
11. On April Fool's Day, he made a joke about liking the Loud House, Caillou, and Peppa Pig, causing Ops Avery, Colton, and Quinn to beat him up.
Imagine being so traumatized from an April Fool's joke that you would beat someone up as a form of retaliation. It's just a prank, bro.
And 13. He says I put the hashtag killed Chinese people when I admitted that wrongdoing.
Just because you admit what you did doesn't mean people will automatically forgive you. You gotta earn that, dude. Now, this last rant I'll tackle from him is one of his more infamous ones. A rant on a user named Kenny Animates. I may not know a lot about this Kenny person, but good god, does Jay rather say some edgy shit in this.
1. He said that criminals, perverts, and pedophiles cannot be trusted or ignored, when they actually can.
Okay, there may not be any laws dictating whether or not you can trust those kinds of people, but are you really sure you want to rely on groomers who can potentially scar you for life?
9. He says that health condition disrespecters cannot be trusted, when they actually can. Because like what Revelation 21:8 said, people who do bad things, like murder, being homosexual, practicing evil magic, and not believing in God will die in hell.
Why the hell are you bringing religion into this shit? Are you really this desperate to defend anyone with just a sprinkle of apathy?
19. He gives Doris lipstick. What the hell? Doris doesn't wear lipstick in the actual Caillou show. Man, if I ever saw that Doris in real life, I will kick her in the mouth.
Dude, change a tampon or something. It's just their own personal preference. You're really resorting to such violence by pulling a Peter Griffin?
Roadhouse.
And also, I hope you die before 2022. That way I'll never have to worry about you anymore.
No, this isn't a joke, people. The man has proven to be this much of a sadist. Pretty much everyone in the comments has said how this is bad, which I don't blame them, but there are other issues with this rant besides that one statement. Now, on to the next type of videos he makes. As with the style of your average GoAnimate ranter, it seems commentaries also have a formula of their own. This doesn't happen in all of his commentaries, but he prompts the viewer to become Nigakado Avocado and do a mukbang during the video.
Grab your Burger King Whopper. Grab your McDonald's Big Mac. Grab your Pizza Hut pizza. Grab your Mountain Dew. Grab your Dairy Queen ice cream. Turn on the Bluetooth speakers. Get comfy on the couch. And let's begin the commentary.
A more common theme in his commentaries is that he says, "Can you explain why?" whenever someone's stating an attribute to why something sucks, as if they'll answer that question. From his commentary on a rant on Clifford, here's how many times he asks that question or any variation of it.
Can you explain why? Can you explain why? Can you explain please? Can you explain please? Can you explain why? Explain please? Can you explain why? Can you explain? Can you explain please?
That was about 1/3 of the points he made in the so-called commentary. Like, he's not making any groundbreaking revelations in any of these. He just wants a goddamn explanation. As for some of the actual points he makes, some of them I can understand what he's getting at, but they're just poorly worded. Here's an example.
Like I said before, fictional characters don't have fudging opinions!
So you're basically saying that characters created by the minds of humans can't have any viewer judgment on anything? Which means that Mario can't have an opinion on spaghetti? The TMNT can't have opinions on pizza? VeggieTales can't have opinions on God? See where I'm going with this? Granted, you're referring to the fact that characters can't have thoughts on things outside of their franchise unless it's canon, but yeah, no shit, Sherlock. This next factor is perfect for a drinking game, unless you want to live. In a 5-part commentary, titled El Com Cod Crom, Jay and the dude he's commentating on throw these clips back and forth each other.
More like no.
Pretty fun debate, ain't it? The last thing about his commentaries I will bring up is that whenever he does a commentary on a grounded video or anything similar to that, he usually talks to the characters in the video as if they can hear him.
I am sending you the files right now.
You better not or else I'll chop your penis off.
Holy shit, where the hell did that come from? It seems that Jay's style of commentating has been more aggressive in each passing video, and he's passing these threats off as constructive criticism. You definitely didn't rethink your definition of criticism, let alone constructive. As expected with the GoAnimate community, most people in there have their fair share of Alogs. For those of you who don't know, an Alog is someone who shows that they aren't any better than who they're bashing, even by going as far as wishing them physical harm. Originated by one of Chris Chan's earliest detractors, Anthony Legato. With that lesson out of the way, let's get into how Jay's a so-called criminal. One action they consider the most infamous from him is scratching his mom. The main reason why he did it in the first place is because his mom was picking off dead skin and acne, which most likely got him to accidentally scratch her as a reaction. Not only did many people take that way out of proportion, but Jay himself thinks that accidentally scratching someone to the point of bleeding is punishable by law. What state are you in to have such a law? This is more absurd than having an ice cream cone in your back pocket on a Sunday. Anyways, most of the Alogs also see him as a criminal apologist, given how he apparently likes the users they consider criminals in these Proof That Jay Supports Criminals videos. First of all, what the hell is their definition of criminal? Unless they actually committed murders or whatnot, I don't see the issue here. Second, care to provide insight to how these users are so-called criminals to the people who never heard about these schmucks? Then again, I could really care less about these randos. They also make these short #exposed videos that call out Jay for the most trivial and obvious of things, such as hating the NFL because it's boring, ranting on his haters despite that they can just look for that on his channel, or just placing his 9-inch nails on his computer screen as an attempt to comfort someone. Now, don't get me wrong, some of these exposures can be justified at times, such as him saying the N-word or wanting an entire nationality dead because of the pandemic and canceling events. Granted, those actions were in the past as Jay claims, but even then they can't be defended in any way even with that excuse. Alright, that may sound like some cancel culture shit, but the thing is that Jay never owned up to it. With all of that said, let's see how he takes this sort of attention. What you guys are about to witness is most likely the most pathetic and hilarious way of handling criticism I have ever seen. One suggestion he goes apeshit over is that he needs a screen recorder, and he once dismissed that criticism by stating that his Chromebook won't allow him to do so. Given that ratio, it seems that most people aren't buying that excuse, especially considering that there are many tutorials out there on how to screen record. And I don't know if anyone else told him this, but he should really get a video editor along with it. That is pretty much the closest thing to criticism he has ever gotten. The rest is just a little bit of trolling. And that trolling pissed him off to the point of making a video where he screams about not wanting to be heart spammed, which is basically clicking the heart icon in one's comment many times. Another lolcowish quirk this guy has is how he doesn't like to be called J Kiko or JJ Kizer the jet plane. He hates being called the former because the Kiko shtick is getting old. Regardless of how long it's been used, it's really petty that he would be so insecure over a name like that. As for the latter, come on man, it's just a goof. But seriously, this should be a no-brainer. The more you make videos like this, the more you prompt others to call you silly names. Now, this last one pisses me off the most. He once made a typical YouTube apology video admitting that what he's done is immature. And some stuff he mentioned contradicts what he did long after the video. Like how he stated he wasn't going to rant on Dom's Classical Corner.
I will cancel my Dom's Classical Corner rant and replace it with my rant on Daddy 05.
Rage in all caps.
And I'm also sorry for aging in all caps, because that makes me immature.
And not wanting a Grounded series made out of his precious preschool characters.
And I'm also sorry for being a fanboy of K-Lau, Dora, Little Bill, and Peppa Pig by whining over their Grounded series.
As expected, many people didn't take his apology seriously. Maybe because he uses a text-to-speech voice which isn't really ideal for an apology video like this. How did he take the backlash? Well...
Stop denying my apologies right now! If you don't stop, I want to bully you! Stop denying my apologies right now!
He really does expect everyone to forgive him just because he admitted that it was wrong of him. I doubt you knew this, but forgiveness is earned. And even making it as one of your channel rules isn't going to solve anything. He even goes as far as suicide baiting to get others' sympathy. And yes, this is over his fingernails. God forbid you don't unleash your inner femboy. I mean, your high-pitched voice, long hair on your avatar, and the nails. It all adds up. Alright, all jokes aside, if you really think suicide baiting is the best answer for people to like you, then you, sir, are desperate as hell. What advice do I have for J Kizer? J Von Kizer? J Kizer Permanente? You clearly lack any ability to handle any form of criticism, and you acting like this over it at 22 is just really sad. If you can't redeem yourself, even after you realize your mistakes, I think you should just leave the internet, or at the very least rebrand. Overall, J Kizer has to be one of the biggest lolcows in the Go Anime community, repeating the same mistakes, a sadist to people who makes a certain type of videos, and thinks that justified reasons for hating him are just quirks, all blended into one. And that is all I have to say. Thanks for watching, this is the Package Reviewer, signing off.